Hello everyone, and welcome to my corner of the world and another artist trading card. Now, I've noticed that mushrooms toadstools seem to be very popular at the moment, so I thought I would do one with a toadstool sort of theme. So I've got my base, so 2.5 by 3.5, and I cut it with my decal edged cutter to give it a little bit more of a rustic look, and I just put some colour on the edges again, just to sort of help with sort of the rustic look that I would expect to see with like toadstools and mushrooms. So I've got a couple of stamps that I want to use. So this one has got lots of lovely text on it, and I thought that would look really good as a background for my toadstools. So we're just going to ink it up a bit and just kind of just plonk it in the middle there. There we go. I'm not sure quite what it says. All of us, I think that says, oh, this, oh, it's too, I can't read it. It's sort of deliberately, what you might call it, sort of faded and stuff like that. So there's my starting point, and I thought it would look good if I did some heat embossing for my toadstools. So I got my little kit here, and I've got some red card and a stamp set that has got mushrooms, and it's got or toadstools, and it's got a coordinating punch. So we're going to do two of them, and I'm going to start by just using this just to take any oily fingerprints off my piece of cardstock, which will make the embossing powder stick where I don't want it to be. And then we're going to use the this Versamark ink. Now it's basically clear but super sticky, and will allow my embossing powder to stick really well, so I can melt it into my card. So there's that one, and then there's a second one here which we're going to do. We're going to try and do them both at the same time to save a little time, like that. And I'm going to cover my pad up so I don't get embossing powder on it. There's a couple of mistakes that I've made in the past that have caused me to be ultra cautious when it comes to embossing powder, especially if I've used black and I've got black embossing powder on my clear ink pad. Can you imagine? I'm not particularly happy when that happens. So there's my white embossing powder. There we go. Just flick it on the back to get the excess off, like that. And then I can just put this back in here, like that. Now, I found by accident that if I use my heat tool on my silicone mat, it doesn't like it. So I've just got a piece of tray here, an old tray, and I've just covered it with some tin foil, aluminum foil for my American audience. And that just sort of bounces the heat back and stops it damaging any of my other tools. So there's my one, and here's the other one. See, it goes from dull to a lovely bright white. Super. Now, I like to leave my embossed images for a few minutes to just, if you like, dry, just to set, because if they're still warm, they can actually sort of scuff a bit. So I'm going to set those to one side, get my card back, and we're going to think about how we're going to layer them up. Now, I've got a piece of dark brown cardstock here. And I'm just going to use the punch, and I'm going to just cut a couple of stems out. There's one, and there's two. And that one I've just caught with so I just do another one because it's only a tiny bit of card. So when I'm using this type of punch, I like to use a strip that I can just sort of slide in close to the bit I want to punch, rather than sort of have it cutting a whole set of these out. So that's my first piece. And now I think these are going to be cool enough to punch. So you can see, with being a strip, I can just slide that in, line it up with the right shape for my toadstool. So there's my number one. And then I can just move this down and do the next one like that. And I haven't chewed too much into my card. Okay. So now we're going to organize how we're going to layer these up too. And I've got my two stems, and you can see, because this is like the underside of the toadstool, it means that my stem needs to sort of appear like that rather than being tucked under. So if I kind of have them a bit jolly, sort of drunk looking, then maybe that gives it a bit more interest. Right, so that's how I see it going. Right, so we need to get some adhesive. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to start by just attaching the stem to the mushroom or the toadstool, whatever we decide we're going to call it, like that. So that's set for a moment. And this one here, there we go. There. Cover this up again, because I tell you, that glue will dry in that tube quick as wink. Okay, it would help if you tried to stick it in the end with the hole in. There you go. Right, so now we've got our two mushrooms, so we need to decide how I'm going to attach. So maybe they look quite nice like that. Let's see. I wonder if I should just pop them up onto some of these. These are double-sided sticky foam pads. So maybe if I put this one flat. Now let's get our glue out again. There we go. If you have that one coming like that, and then we could do this one like this, and this one I could just pop up onto some of these little pads to give it some extra dimension, and then we just cut a tiny little strip just to go on the tip of the mushroom stem. So let's see, I think that's going to be too big, so we just trim it down a bit more. There we go. There, I think that's going to look good. There we go. So I think I'm going to leave that one there. I don't think I need to add any more. Maybe a little bit more of ink. Darken that ink around the edges a bit there. And there we go. Let's bring it up a little closer so as you can see. There. Well, if you've enjoyed this one, perhaps you'll go ahead, give me a thumbs up. I'd certainly like to thank you for choosing to spend some time with me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye for now.